All right. Good morning, students, the faculty members of JIMS. Myself, Mohit Singh. I'm the trainer with SCC Online. And over here, I'm going to give you some information of how you can use this software and how effectively you can browse through the documents which you have in this particular software. I request all the participants to please mute their mics so that they can hear me more clearly. प्लीज अपना माइक म्यूट कर लीजिए जिसका भी माइक इस वक्त ऑन है. All right, that's good. Sharing the screen again. All right. So basically, what you're seeing right now is SCC Online website. So student, this is the SCC Online website over here. That is scconline.com. ये website का URL है through which you will be able to use this particular software. Now, we all know that we are working from home. We are also studying from home as well. So, in order to access this particular software, we have a different kind of a method through which you will be able to access this particular software. उस method का नाम है that is called MyLoft. 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 So, MyLoft is a kind of a software through which you will be able to reach to this particular website, and therefore you will be able to log in this particular software. So सबसे पहले हम MyLoft की बात कर लेते हैं, because through MyLoft only you will be able to log in this particular portal, right? There is some disturbance coming from one of the mics. Please mute your mics. Okay, so MyLoft is a remote access software provided by your university. अब MyLoft में क्या होता है? First of all, आपको एक email आएगा. You will receive an email from myloft.xyz, and that email will look like something look like this. Just a second. Let me just pull up that email for you. कुछ इस तरीके से mail आएगी. Now this mail would be coming from this particular email ID that is called no reply @myloft.xyz. All right. If you do not receive this particular email, then you might need to check with your junk or your spam folder. Otherwise, you're definitely going to receive this email. And in the worst case scenario, if you do not receive this email, then please get in touch with your faculty member or your librarian, ma'am, so that we can resend it to your personal or the official email ID. All right. So the first step is you should be having this particular email in your inbox, right? I request any of the participants to please admit the people. As you can see, this is the admit button. Please click on admit all, and all the members who are waiting in the lobby can be admitted in this particular meeting. So जो भी admit कर सकता है students को please admit कर दीजिएगा. Thank you so much. So this is the particular email which I was talking about regarding the MyLoft. Now in this email, there are many instructions which has already been set it up, which has already been described by the MyLoft team. But the most common thing is, and the most important thing is as well, that is the set password. सबसे पहले आपको क्या करना है? You need to click on the set password button over here. आप इस set password button पर click करेंगे, and then it will take you to a different tab altogether. Please keep in mind, आप ये जो process कर रहे हैं, the process which you are trying to do over here in order to log in, इस process को आप, I recommend over here to please do it on Google Chrome. If you have a Google Chrome browser on your laptop or your any other machine which you're working from, then please do it via Google Chrome. All right. So I've already used this link before, so that is why it's saying me like that. So I need to click on the sign in. Let me just log out first. Just a second. So once you click on that particular button that is called set password, then it will ask you to create your own password. Now you will create your own password as per your personalization, and therefore you need to enter your username and password. Your username is your email ID on which you have received the MyLoft email, right? And the password which you have just created. And now please click on sign in. Now, before clicking on sign in, please make sure the SCC online institution name is selected, not the JIMS. It should be SCC online. So when it asks you to select your institute, you should type SCC online. There you go. And now put in your credentials and click on the sign in button. Students can unmute themselves right now if they want to in order to ask me whether they have any doubts regarding the MyLoft or not. I repeat it again. If you have any doubt regarding the MyLoft, regarding how to register yourself in MyLoft, please unmute yourself because this is the most crucial process in the whole session. आप अपने mic को unmute करके मुझे पूछ लीजिए if you have any doubts regarding the MyLoft registration and the login process. Or else you can certainly use the chat box window. So the chat box window is over here. As you can see, आपको यहाँ पर एक chat box show conversation का नाम का बटन दिखेगा. That is your chat box window. All right, since we do not have any questions regarding the MyLoft, I'll move forward now. हमने अभी तक क्या किया है? What we have done till now is we have successfully registered ourselves on the MyLoft application via the MyLoft invitation email.
Mohit,
now,
we have a question from Gunit Shah. She had Mr. or Miss Gunit Shah had raised her hand, but I think now has been taken down. She's.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you please repeat the login process?
Yeah, sure, absolutely.
Thank you.
So first of all, Mr. Gunisha, you should have this particular email in your inbox. That should look like that should be something like this, coming from no reply @myloft.xyz, right? Now, in case you do not receive this particular email, please check your junk folder or the spam folder. And again, if you do not find it over there, then please get in touch with your librarian team or with your faculty members. We'll resend it again to you. The second step is once you have received this particular email, then you need to click on this button that is called set password. All right. When you click onto that, it will open up in a new window through which you have to create your own password. First of all, it is not asking me because I've already created once. You click on the sign in. Let me just log out first real quick. So it will ask you to create your own password, and therefore once you sign in, it will also ask you to select your institute, in which please make sure that you type SCC Online. So I'm typing SCC Online over here. There you go, SCC Online. We click on continue. It will ask me my credentials again because I've already created mine. Click on sign in, and that's how you log in the MyLoft. I believe Mr. Gunisha, now your question has been answered. Please let us know if you need any more clarification on how to log in the MyLoft.
Yes.
Thank you. So now we have reached to this particular screen, that is the MyLoft screen, as you can see. Now the second step over here is please go to e-resources on your left hand side. यहाँ पर आपको e-resources दिखेगा. Click on the database and therefore you'll see SCC Online. ठीक है, तो आपको डायरेक्ट scconline.com नहीं लिखना है. You have to click on SCC Online, which is there under the database section in MyLoft website. All right. So we click on SCC Online over here, and now we have reached this particular screen, that is scconline.com. अब पहले इस सॉफ्टवेयर की बात कर लेते हैं. Let's talk about this particular software, and then we'll move to the login process of SCC Online as well. So till now we have covered up what is the login process of MyLoft, and now we are going to cover up what is the login process of SCC Online. Now, what is SCC Online? So the full form of SCC Online is Supreme Court Cases Online, and this is a legal research software which provides you documents, the legal documents coming from different categories of data. So for an example, in case you quickly wanted to know some Supreme Court judgments or Supreme Court case laws, you can certainly find it over here. Along with that, you can also find some other courts data as followed by, let me just click on the data coverage for you. So you get Supreme Court of India documents over here. You also get your federal court documents in here. Apart from that, you get your Privy Council judgments, you get your High Court judgments, you get your landmark judgments of district court, historical courts, tribunals and commissions judgments. You also get the statutes, in which you will get your central acts, your state acts, central notifications, state notifications, the bills in parliament which have been introduced in any one of the houses or which have been passed in any one of the houses. Apart from that, you also get the Constitution of India, and the most important thing for the first year students, the Constituent Assembly debates. Apart from that, you also have the legal materials, you have reports of commission and committees, you have treaties, and also you have moot court resources which are going to help you in your moot court competition. So on and all, I can talk about this database for a much longer time, but that's not the point over here. The point is that we have a larger database which have millions of documents present in this particular database. The main question is how quickly and effectively we can retrieve the data in less time as possible, right? That is what the legal research is for कि कितनी जल्दी हम कोई भी document को ढूंढ सकते हैं. So that's what the session is about, how to retrieve the documents, how to find the documents with the help of this particular software that is called SCC Online. So now we are going to log in this particular software with the login button, as you can see onto your screen on the right hand side, on the top right, right? So this is the login button. You click on the login button and you'll see you're getting two kind of options over here. First one is user login and the second one is IP login. You should see this particular feature that is called IP login. आपको ये check करना चाहिए कि ये IP login आ रहा है या नहीं. Because if you're not seeing this IP login button over here, that simply means that some step may have been missed or something on the technical background may have been gone wrong. So what you need to do is if you do not see IP login, then you need to redo all the steps of MyLoft. You need to go to the MyLoft again, log in the MyLoft, click on the database, click on the SCC Online, and then try to see whether do you see the IP login button or not. So IP login is the most important thing in order to log in this particular software. Okay, so that was IP login importance. And now how to log in. You click on register here. This is for the first time registration. If you have already registered, then it's a different story. So for the first time registration, please click on the register here button. When you click on that, it will ask you for your login ID. That can be your official email ID and your full name. So I'll just put in my login ID for you. Right? Register and login. Now it will ask me for my graduation year, which the students already know of. For the faculty members, they can certainly click on the skip button. The moment you click on skip or enter your graduation year, now you are in the software. So that's how the process works of how to log in SCC Online. Again, if any students have any confusion regarding how to log in SCC as well as in the MyLoft, please unmute yourself or please use the chat box window to let me know about that. Any questions regarding the login process of how to log in SCC or the MyLoft, please use the chat box window or you can unmute yourself as well.
Mr. Mohit,
Yes,
can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Please you repeat the process again because most of the faculty member or student must have joined late. So
Sure.
please you repeat the process how to register for this or to access this software.
All right. So I'm
actually this session is getting recorded anyways. So I think the who are joining in, we can share the link of the recording and they can rerun the process of login through MyLoft through the video, if that's okay.
Okay. Okay. Still, I think it will not take much time. Okay. Because this is the process in the my team, and most of the faculty member were not having this app, so they took time to enter in this program. So that's why. Okay.
Sure.
Not a problem, ma'am. So again, there we are. First of all, I'm going to talk about regarding the MyLoft login process and followed by the SCC Online login process. All right. So first of all, in order to log in MyLoft, you need to see this particular email in your inbox. So first of all, you'll receive this email via noreply@myloft.xyz. If you do not see this particular email, then please check your junk folder or the spam folder. And in case you do not see it over there, please get in touch with your IT team. We will resend this email to you. So the first step is you should check this email in your inbox. When you see this email, you will also see this button that is called set password button. You click on that button, you will be redirected to a different website in which the website will ask you to create your own password. So you create your own password and you click on sign in. Now, before signing in, it will also ask you to select your institute. Now, while selecting your institute, please type SCC Online. So you type SCC Online, click on continue. And now you can enter your credentials in which the email ID you already know of and the password which you have just created, right? You click on the sign in now and there you go. You will be in the MyLoft software. I recommend you to please do this registration process on the Google Chrome browser, right? When you're in the MyLoft application, what you need to do is you go to e-resources on the left hand side, e-resources. You click on database and in the database, you'll see SCC Online over here. You click on that and now you will be redirected to the SCC Online website. So that is how you reach to SCC Online website. Please do not type the scconline.com URL because that's a different login process. For your university login process, you need to go or you need to be redirected through the MyLoft website. Okay. So now I'm going to speak about the login process of SCC. Now login process of SCC is very simple. As you can see, there's a login button over here. Now in the login button, you're definitely going to see the IP login. If you have done all the steps correctly, you're definitely going to see this IP login button over here, in which for the first time registration, you need to click over here, register here. You put in your email ID or the login ID and then your full name. I click on register and login. And now my ID will be registered. And for the next time, I can only type in my email ID and I'm good to go. For the students, they can enter their graduation year. For the faculty members, they can click on the skip button. So that is how you will be logged in the SCC Online software. So first of all, MyLoft, and on the second, we can say step, please use SCC Online login process. Now let us talk about the SCC Online now. As you can see, what you're seeing on your screen right now is the SCC Online dashboard. In the dashboard, as you can see, there are three kind of different colored tiles. The first row is the blue color row. The second row is the My Library row. And the third one are the links. Now, every other tile has its own importance, right? So for an example, whenever you quickly wanted to find a judgment with the help of a citation, then we have a separate tile for that. You can click on this tile, you can enter the citation number, and that judgment will be opened up. Similarly, the same method goes for find by party name as well. But apart from these two, there are many other tiles which can serve the purpose as per your query. So let us start with a very random example over here to give you the idea how you can pull up any documents in SCC Online. So my favorite search is called word search. Now word search is responsible, or it acts like a Google search of SCC Online. It searches within the entire database of SCC Online, irrespective of whichever document you wanted to see. So I click on that. There you go. So what you're getting over here is a search bar. Now in the search bar, you can type whichever query or whichever case law or whichever document you wanted to find, right? So let us try and let us hit our first search and let us see what type of documents do we get. So what I'm trying to enter over here is I'm trying to find some latest case laws or latest judgments on the topic of defamation decided by Supreme Court of India. So latest judgments from Supreme Court of India on defamation, right? This is how I usually enter my query on Google. So that is why I've written it in like this. And now I will click on the search bar. I hope all the relevant documents will come onto my screen and then I can read about that. Okay, so the total results which I've got over here are 133. I can see the total number over here. The first document which is being displayed onto my screen is an article. How I've come to know about that? Because it is written, or there is an icon of A. So whenever you see an icon of A, that simply means you're looking at an article. Whenever you see an icon of J or D, so this time we are looking at a J, that simply means we are looking at a judgment. So this is how I differentiate between the documents. I believe this is not the kind of a correct search which I should have been made, because uh, almost everything is being highlighted. Like I do not wanted to highlight this quote off, and every off is getting highlighted in this particular document. And therefore, I could easily analyze that the search which I made over here has not been in the correct form. So what went wrong? How to do research and how to do what is the correct way of search with the help of the word search. That's what we are going to find now, right? So till now we have got only 133 documents. Let us go back to the word search. Let us try this search again with a different method. So in order to go back, you click on this icon, that is a dashboard icon. You see this word search screen over here. Click on it again. Take my previous search. And now this time, please focus over here. Do not type the whole query. Only type the main important word or the legal word of the query, right? This kind of query formation is very good when you're working on the Google, because Google is for everyone, and that is why we have to define which type of document we wanted to see and from which court we wanted to see, right? So therefore, when you're working on a legal research software specifically for SEC Online, please do not type the whole query, only type the main important word of the query, right? Click on the search bar, and now let us see what type of documents do we get. So from 133 documents, now we are getting around almost 9,000 results, right? The idea of doing the legal research is not to pinpoint one document, but is to find relevant documents like 3 to 4 to 6 documents through which you can browse which one is suitable for your case. So it does not matter how many results you're getting, but the main point over here is all the documents should be with the we can say with the keywords which you have searched. They should be precise as per your query demands. Now we have got around 9,000 results over here, and as you can see, my result screen has been divided into 3 different columns. The first column is on the right left hand side, this one. Second column is on the middle side, this one. And there you go. We also have a third column which is on the right hand side, this one. It is very easy to select any category of data whichever you wanted to see. So for my example, we were looking at the judgments. I can click on the judgment. There you go. Which court do you want to see? Supreme Court, Privy Council, High Court, International Court, whichever court you wanted to see. You click on Supreme Court only, and everything else will be deselected. Now, all the documents in the middle column are having the icon J, because I have clicked on the judgment section. So all the document which I'm going to see will be having the icon J. Also, next to J icon, there is a number. Sometimes this number can be 1, can be 2, number 3, number 11 as well. What does this number represents? This number represents how many judges were there in the quorum for deciding this particular case. So this is a quorum strength, or we can say the bench strength, right? And this date which you're seeing over here, this date represents the date of decision. So this case was decided in the year of 1985. The second one was decided in the year of 2015. Third one, similarly, 1960. Now you must be wondering that, sir, this is not the latest judgment. I do agree with you. This is not the latest judgment. This is the most relevant document as per our software. So in order to sort the data as per your query, you can click on this icon. And now you can sort the data as per the oldest, as per the latest, as per the query smallest, and obviously as per the query, quorum largest. So I click on the latest first. And there you go. The most latest judgment on the topic of defamation was decided on 7th of December last year, right? And now I can see this document party name is Amish Devgan versus Union of India. And there were two judges, Justice Khanwilkar sir and Justice Khanna sir. However, one of the judges' name is in the blue bold color and the second judge's name is not in the blue bold color. What does this represent? This simply represents that Justice Khanna sir actually wrote the judgment and Justice Khanwilkar sir was just having a concurring or dissenting opinion. Justice Khanna sir was the one who's actually penned down the whole judgment. And now when we scroll down, we can see the whole judgment continues to go on. Whichever paragraph I wanted to read, I can simply scroll down and read that particular paragraph. In case I quickly wanted to save the document, I can go to this save icon, click on the save icon, and this document will be saved in my machine. Similarly, I can email this document to anyone else, and also I can quickly take the printout. Talking about the printout, you're not going to see the true printout over here. What you're going to see is a non-true printout. So what a non-true printout simply means? Non-true printout means that whichever font and the color size which you're seeing onto your screen right now. So this is a web download, right? This is a website right now. So if I take a printout, it will be entirely like this. So that is called the web download. And that is not acceptable in the course. It can be acceptable for your personal reference, but while submitting in the moot court competition, this is not acceptable. So what is acceptable? What kind of documents are admissible in the courts? Those are called the true printout format. So let me just pull up one true printout format document and then I'll talk about this. I click on relevance again. Now have a look on this. Again, the justice's name, the party name, and now rather than the actual judgment, there is a black paragraph right in front of you. This black paragraph simply means that this is the head note of the judgment. This is the summary of the judgment made by the editorial team of Eastern Book Company. This summary of the judgment actually tells you or gives you the idea of what the whole judgment is talking about. So this whole judgment is talking about CPC 1908, Order 22, Rules 1, 3 and 11. Also, it is also talking about applicability of Section 302 of Succession Act 1925, where doing pendency of appeal against dismissal of a suit for damages for defamation. Now you're getting the idea of getting the background of the case. Okay, this is what the case is talking about, and also you can get to know what type of conclusion which was made in this particular case. If you are done with the head note, you can simply scroll down, and this is where the judgment starts. The judgment of the court was delivered by Justice Medon sir, and now you can read the whole judgment. So that is the difference between a document which contains the head note and a document which does not contain the head note. So whenever there is a new judgment which has been added in SCC Online, the head notes are in the process because head note takes some time in order to be made, in order to be processed in SCC Online documents. The moment head notes have been made, the moment that judgment have been published in SCC Online journals, you can certainly see that head note over here, and therefore you will also see another type of print document that is called the true printout. So true printout will only going to appear in those documents in which head notes are present, right? So now you're going to select the number of pages. You click on the print icon, and this document printout will be entirely different from which you were seeing before. Now, as you can see, let me just zoom it for you. Now this document is called the true printout, which is widely accepted by the Indian courts. And as you can see, this is entirely different from the previous screen because this is the exact photocopy of what we have published in our SEC online journals. And we only publish the judgments in our SEC online journals once we have made the head notes, right? So now you can certainly view the whole document, and also you can view that the judgment of the court were delivered by, and then the judgment continues to go on. Not only that, it also gives you the name of the person who has taken this true printout with the SEC online stamp mark. All right. So this was the importance of a true printout document and how you can do that, how you can retrieve it, right? If there are any questions regarding the feature, then please use the chat box window. We are going to have a look on that once we open the question and answers round. The second most important thing while researching on any particular document is how to copy any paragraph or any line from a judgment. It's very easy over here. First of all, go to the judgment text. This is the judgment text, as you can see. So in order to copy the starting 4 lines or 3 lines or the whole paragraph, the idea or the process is very simple. You single click on the notepad, which is just beside every paragraph number. So you single click onto it, single click again, and single click on the third one as well. Once you have made your selection, what you need to do is you click on this icon that is called Smart Copy. You click on that. It will be opened up in a new window through which all the lines which you wanted to copy can be copied via Control C and Control V, or you can highlight and paste, whichever works for you. Not only that, you also get the information that from whichever judgment you have copied this and from which page number you have copied this, right? Okay, not only that, you can also email the portions which you wanted to copy to anyone else, whichever you wanted to send the email to. Okay. So that was the copying process. It is very easy. Just look for this paragraph icon, single click on it, and click on this icon that is called Smart Copy. Okay. So that was the feature of how you can do the copy, as well as we have also discussed the feature of copying, save the document, email the document, and also how to take the true printout. If you have any questions, please use the chat box window. Now let us do one more search to see how effectively we can do the we can say searches while we are working on another type of query. So let us click on the dashboard again. Let us go back to the word search. Now this time, rather than just entering one keyword, let us try to hit a search with a kind of a journalistic query, right? So we are trying to find some judgments on the topic of family law, in which we are looking for an answer. We are looking for an answer under a scenario whether the second wife should also be entitled for the interim maintenance or not, right? So I'll repeat my whole query again. We are looking for some judgments on the account of family law, in which we are looking to find an answer whether the second wife should also be entitled to get the interim maintenance or not. How can you enter that query? How can you search that query? That is the question, right? So I'm going to give you the method of what are the different ways to search. Whichever method works for you, you can do that. So first of all, type the query as it comes into your mind. That is the most easiest method. So it's a family law case in which second wife is looking for interim maintenance till the time they get divorced, or whichever the story continues to go on. This is the thumb rule which I'm going to tell you now. Please use only and only the main important legal words of the query, right? Do not type everything in the query. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete the non-legal words from the query. So I'm going to delete this one. and this one as well. So now we are left with some words over here: family, law, second wife, interim maintenance, right? Now family and law are two individual words in our dictionary. I request the participants to please mute their mics.
अरे ਉਹਨਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਖਾਣ ਪੀਣ ਦੇ ਪੈਸੇ ਮੰਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਸੀ ਉਹ ਡਰਾਈਵਰ ਅੱਜ ਨਵਾਂ ਸੀ ਕੋਈ ਉਹੀ ਸੀ ਮੈਂ ਕਿਹਾ ਇਹ ਕੀ ਬਾਤ ਹੈ
All right. I request all the participants to please take care of your mics. Do not unmute them while in the meeting, as it interrupts the flow of the speaker. All right. So what we were trying to do over here, we have created a query in which we have already filtered down the query to the bare minimum legal words which are present in the query. Now, what I was talking about is, as you can see onto your screen, you get to see family, law, second wife, interim maintenance. Family and law are two individual words in our dictionary. However, family law is itself a legal phrase in our dictionary, in our legal dictionary specifically. Similarly, second wife is a legal phrase. Interim maintenance is a legal phrase. Domestic agreement is a legal phrase, or whichever legal phrases comes into your mind. Now, the point is, whenever you're typing a legal phrase in order to search for the document, you need to tell the software that you're not trying to search two individual words. Rather than that, you're trying to search one word, and that is a phrase. So in order to tell the software whichever legal phrase you're typing in, please use double inverted commas, just like the way I've done it over here. Right? Similar thing goes for the second wife, and similarly for interim maintenance. You can do the search like this. You can click on the search bar and then you will get all the documents. That is the first method. The second method is, which is my personal favorite. Let me show it that way. Let me show you that as well. The second method of searching over here is, you do not type the whole query in one go. So I have removed some words in my query. Rather than that, try to search your query with the first word or whichever is the principal topic of your query. So I've searched with the family law. That was my principal topic. Now, what you need to do is, you need to go to the search within search result over here and then type in the rest of the query. So this is the second method which I'm going to show you. Second wife, my second word. And similarly, I can go with my third word as well. That was interim maintenance. Click on the search bar. This method is my personal favorite. Why? Because first of all, it reduces the number of results which you're going to see. Previously, you were getting around 4,000 documents. Now you're getting around 1,000 documents. And after the last search, you are only and only getting around 200 documents. Let us see how many Supreme Court documents are we going to get. Only 13. The idea is, whenever you're getting only a handful of documents, then please do not search any extra, because you're already getting very less results. And now you can quickly browse through whichever document you wanted to see. You can quickly browse through the head note, and whichever document works for you, you can use that, right? So this method works for the query which are long enough and which are very descriptive kind of. So you can break down into the pieces and you can search them word by word. So this is called search within search, right? And whichever document is relevant for you, you can click on that. You can read the head note. You can quickly save the document or take the true printout, whichever is suitable for you. So this is the second method, which is very effective when you're working on a descriptive kind of a query. If you have any questions, please let me know via the chat box window. We are going back to the dashboard. Okay, so we have already covered some of the major aspects of the word search, but there are many ties which are still left. So let us try to jump to any other tile now. So we are leaving the word search for now. We are moving towards find by topic, because find by topic is somewhat similar to the word search, right? So since we have a mixed batch of first year and the senior batch and the faculty members as well. Now this find by topic is very useful. This find by topic is almost similar to the word search, as you can see. However, rather than giving you a blank search, it gives you a list of topics and the statute list as per our legal fraternity. Now, for an example, I'm trying to find some case laws on the topic of contract law, but I'm just having some hard time determining that which legal word would be the best word to type in SCC online, right? मैं confuse हो गया कि कौन सा legal word मुझे type करना चाहिए in order to find the documents of a contract law. Don't worry. Click on the find by topic tile. Go to this list. Find the principal topic, that is contract and specific relief. It gives you suggestions. Are you looking for discharge of contract? No. Are you looking for particular statutes? No. Are you looking for void and voidable contracts? Yes, I'm looking for that. So whichever suggestion works for you, you can click on that suggestion, click on search everywhere, and click on go. Now it will act like a word search. You do not have to type anything. It will act like a word search with whichever topic you have selected, and all the documents will be related to the topic you have selected, void and voidable contracts. So it helps you to determine whichever topics is helpful for you and which kind of keyword you should be typing in, right? Let us go back to the dashboard. Now, let us go to words and phrases as well. We click on words and phrases. Now, words and phrases is a very good tile in order to get the definitions of the legal words, right? So I highly recommend you students, when you are in this legal fraternity, you are studying or you are practicing, please do not rely on the free information coming from Wikipedia or Google or any kind of Alexa software, right? The information you are going to see over here is entirely different from the free websites. For an example, in our minds, in our language, we all know what is the meaning of bail. ठीक है, हम सबको पता है bail का क्या मतलब होता है अपनी एक या दो लाइन की definition में. However, when we are working on this particular legal research software, let us see what kind of results do we get when we search for the word bail. So we type bail. We click on the show button, and there you go. There is a paragraph starting from here. It keeps on going on, and it ends over here. This whole paragraph has been written from a judge, and that judge is trying to define what is the meaning of bail. And that judgment in which that judge has defined what's the meaning of bail is A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. So rather than just giving you the definition, it actually tells you the source of how that judgment was defined and from which judge was that judgment was defined, right? Similarly, for the second paragraph as well, this whole paragraph has been taken from this particular judgment in which a judge has defined what's the meaning of bail. Moving ahead. Apart from that, if you look at this particular paragraph, that is the fourth number paragraph, this paragraph has been specifically taken from the Walton Dictionary of Law. So what I'm trying to frame over here is that the information which you're going to get has not been taken from any XYZ website. It has been taken only from the two sources. First, from the judgment itself, and second, from the Walton Dictionary of Law. Just a second, I guess we have some questions in the chat box window as well. Okay, so there is a question from Ms. Saloni ji. What is the blue tick appearing before some judgments? That blue tick represents that you are currently looking at the judgment, right? Could you please, another question from Miss Samriddhi. Could you please repeat from that judgment part? I got disconnected and was okay. We are going to open some more couple of judgments, so don't worry, you're not going to miss it again. Let me again see if we have any other questions. No. All right, moving ahead. So till now, we have successfully covered the words and phrases style, find by topic tile, and the word search screen. We are going back to the dashboard, right? Why I'm focusing so much on the blue tiles is because blue tiles are meant for research, and that is what this software is all about. Research as much as you can. Someone said to me while I was delivering a session before in some other institute that in order to become a good advocate, you should also be a good researcher, right? You should not take around 12 hours or 15 hours in order to search for a document. You should know what are the different methods or different software, because there are many softwares in the market, such as SEC Online, such as Manupatra, such as any other legal research software. So you should know all the softwares right on the back of your hand. Okay, having said that, let us move forward with any other tile. We are moving with the find by party name now. Find by party name is very easy because all you need is the code and the party name, right? But most of the time when we get this information from our seniors, from our batchmates, from our friends, we do not get the complete information. Sometimes we are lacking of the code name. Sometimes we are actually lacking of the party name. So let us see what type of information which you can put over here. But before going with the party name, there is one more option over here that is called search by famous case names. Now search by famous case name, how it works, let me show it to you. It only and only searches for the most, we can say, for the cases which were there in the national media headline. Now the latest case which was there in the national media headline case was, we can say, the Babri Masjid case. So if I type Babri, there you go, Babri Masjid case. Click on the find case. You will get the party name as well as the citation. Similarly, for any other national media headline case, Nirbhaya case, find case. Similarly, you will get the party name as well as a citation. So it helps you to get the party name as well as a citation for the national media headline cases. Now, for the rest of the cases, you can use the party name feature. Now, in the party name feature, just like I've said before, if you do not have the idea from which code that judgment was delivered, then do not worry. Click on this icon, drop down icon. You will get a list of the codes. If you have any confusion, click on all jurisdiction. Every code will be selected by default. Now enter your party name. So I only got the party name so let us take an example of AK Gopalan State of Madras, right? So what I'm trying to frame over here is AK Gopalan. And now I've forgotten completely that what was the other party name, whether it was state of Punjab, state of Uttar Pradesh, state of Tripura, what it was. Do not worry. Write the partial party name which you have. Click on the find case. It will give you some suggestions as per the date of decision. It was decided on 1950, 1961, 2015, 2016, 1989. Now you need to check on which date that case was decided. Click on the go icon, that case will be opened up. So even with your partial information, the software can still find the relevant case laws, right? Now this case has been opened up in this particular software, and as you can see, someone mic has been unmuted. Please mute your mics. Okay. Now please focus over here. We have opened only one judgment. But apart from this judgment, we are also getting many entries in the form of D6, D6, D6. What are these? So let me just give you some information on that as well. Now J means judgment, 6 means bench strength. That is already clear. D means it is a digest note. And again, 6 means it is a quorum. Now what are digest notes? Let me give you some information on that as well. Focus over here on the left hand side. Judgment is obviously one, but there are 231 digest notes present along with the judgment. Now we all know what's the importance of the head note, right? Digest notes are specifically made by the editorial team of Eastern Book Company. They represents that how many important law points that were discussed in this particular case. So all in all, there were 231 important points of law that were discussed while deciding this case, that was A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras. But why do we need all those points? So let us see. For an example, we click on this digest note. This digest note represents one of the law point out of 231. This particular law point represents that they are talking about spirit of the constitution, which cannot be a basis of considering validity of any statute. Also, it directly gives you what was the opinion of Chief Justice Kania sir and what was the opinion of Justice Mahajan sir without even reading the whole judgment. That is what the hard work of our editors. They have read the whole judgment and then they have given you the opinion of the judges right in front of you rather than jumping onto the judgment and getting the information by yourself. Right? So that is the main importance of the digest note. It gives you, or it actually saves your time so that you don't have to read the whole judgment. You get the gist of the judgment as well as you get the opinion of the judges right in front of you. So that is why reading the digest notes are really very important, right? There is one more thing which we should discuss over here. That is, most of the time, or we can say sometimes may have given you this particular information that whenever a judgment is overruled, then please do not read that judgment. That judgment, the law which was decided in that judgment is not a good law anymore. I completely agree to that. But there is another side of the story. The another problem is that whenever a judgment has been overruled, we should always check that on which point of law the judgment was overruled. And I should also agree with this, that please do not cite all those law points which were overruled. Rather than that, if there are any other law point which have been not overruled, then you can certainly cite that law point because obviously that has not been overruled. So in order to clear that confusion, see this as an example. This is an example of A.K. Gopalan versus State of Madras, in which 231 different points of law were discussed, out of which I have been told that Mohit, some of the law points have been overruled in this case. Please do not use this case. Please do not read this case. Okay. Now my question is, sir, what are the law points which were overruled? Now in order to answer that question, go to search within search, type in overruled, click on the search bar and see for yourself what were the law points that were overruled. You will see this D6 and red exclamatory mark. Whichever document contains a red exclamatory mark, that law point has been overruled. Out of 231 points of law, only 7 points of law have been overruled. Rest points are still a good law. You can read them. So let us see what type of points that got overruled. So first of all, as you can see, this point of law which talks about Article 21, due process of law excluded. This is the heading of the law point. As per what Justice Faisal Ali sir said, his opinion. As per what Justice Mukherjee sir said, his opinion. Equivalent citations. And this law point was overruled in Minka Gandhi case, Rajesh Kumar case, Muhammad Arif case, Shaira Banu case, and recently this was also overruled in Kalpana Mehta case. So please do not cite this law point anymore because it's already been overruled a couple of times. Apart from that, when you do not see the red exclamatory mark, then certainly you can read that law point or whichever opinion that was given by the judge in that particular law point. Right? If you have any confusion regarding the overruled feature, how to check it, then certainly please use the chat box window. We are more than happy to give you that information again. Just a second. Just a second. I'm just having some internet connection problem over here.
Mohit, any issue I can help you with?
Just reconnecting it, sir.
Something happened with the website?
No, not the website. Only my internet, sir. Now we are back again, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So we have briefly covered the word search, find by party name, find by topic, words and phrases as well. We are moving ahead since we do not have that much time left. We are moving ahead with the find by citation now. Find by citation is very easy to use. Again, find by citation requires the specific citation number, right, with respect to the journal as well. So it does not matter that you only need to write the SEC journal citation number over here. You can also select any other journal from the list, SEC, AIR, Criminal Law Journal, or whichever journals you generally use for your research. So I use AIR. I do not use it, but I'm just selecting it for the example's sake. AIR. The moment you type in the page number, it gives you suggestions that these page numbers are available. So you select on it, you get the citation, and obviously that particular document will be opened up with the help of that citation. All right. So this is very easy to use. You enter the citation number, that judgment will be opened up. Let us move forward. Find case law by section. Find case law by section is very easy. How it helps you? Let me give you that information. So for example, you're looking for some case laws on particular sections of law. What I mean to say by that is, you're looking some case laws on Indian Penal Code section 302, punishment for murder, right? So rather than, you can certainly go with a word search. However, this section also is very helpful. What you need to do is, first of all, type in the name of the act, IPC or Indian Penal Code, find in title. You get to see the principal act. Thereby, you can select the number of sections which you want. So I want 302. I'll go over there, 302. I click on go. Now you're done. All the documents pertaining to the section 302 of IPC will be right in front of you. So we are getting around 36,000 results. So obviously there are many judgments which talks on the ground of IPC section 302. You can certainly filter out the data, Supreme Court only or whichever court, sort by the most largest quorum. And therefore you can sort the data as per your own personalization. Not only that, you can still filter the data with the time graph as well. Now the time graph is on the bottom left. As you can see on the bottom left, you can squeeze the time and define the time as per your query. So I only want the data coming from 2004 till 2021. So it is going to work like that. Obviously the results will be way too less, but now they are precise as per your query demands. So that is how you can do your personalizations. We click on the dashboard. Chetan sir, would you recommend me to cover the case compilation feature as well? Chetan sir, are you there? Okay, not a problem. All right. So in case we get some time, we're also going to cover one more important feature that is called the case compilation feature. But before that, let me just cover some important tiles over here. We have briefly covered the word search, find case law by section, and any other research style which you can see onto your screen. Now, it is highly possible that because this is a first session of JIMS, it is highly possible that some of the feature might get just lost in the way, right? Whenever you're working on the software, it may happen with you that, okay, how does this works and how does that work? A lot of questions can be coming up. You can certainly reach out to us. We will leave our email address over here in the chat box. The second source of help is the help center. The help center view user manual gives you all the pictorial representations which you want on whichever feature you're looking for. So for example, I quickly wanted to know how to copy. I write in how to copy. It will give me the pictorial representation of how to copy, right? So this is very easy. And again, in case you do not get the answer from the help center, you can certainly reach out to us. Going back to the dashboard. Now we are in the library portion. Now we are in the library part. In the library part, my favorite one is browse curated topics. Now, browse curated topic is very helpful. Now, the moment I clicked onto it, it gave me headings of the main, we can say, topics of law. Some practices in the public law, some studies within the category of taxation law. Some have the interest in the IP and some also have the interest in the family and personal law as well. Just for example. Now, when you're doing your research, you can certainly go with the word search, enter your keyword, and you can get the documents. But this is a kind of a tile in which you get all the relevant documents in one place. What I mean by that, let me just show it to you. For example, I study corporate and commercial law. I click onto it. All the categories with respect to corporate and commercial law will be onto my screen. As I can see, aviation, banking and finance, companies law, competition law, and whichever category which is relevant to the corporate and commercial law. I study in the competition law. I click onto that. Now, there you go. Every document which talks on the ground of competition law will be there in these categories. You want all the statutes? There you go. All the statutes from different acts are coming in the same category. You want all the rules and regulations are coming in. You want all the notifications, certainly another category. And most important, all the hand-picked important judgments on the competition law are in front of you. So sometimes if you have any query that I want the most important document on family and personal law in terms of judgments, certainly you can go with this style, click on the family and personal law category, click on the case law, and all the important judgments will be right in front of you. And again, you can email it, save it, or print it, whichever you want. So this is one stop through which you can get to know different types of documents very easily. So this was browse curated topic style. I'm skipping browse law reports. It is very easy to use. Let us see browse judgment by court. Browse judgment by court and tribunals is also very easy. In order to use this style, first thing which you need to know of that you should know what was the date of decision of that case. So for an example, I'm looking for a judgment decided by Supreme Court of India on December 14th, previous year. I click on Supreme Court. This decade, 2020, December. Okay, there is no judgment on December 14th. So that is why we need to be very precise that whether there was any judgment delivered on that date or not. Okay, not a problem. We click on 15th. There you go. We got to know about that particular judgment as well. So you need to know the exact date of decision on that particular date. So this is how it works. Moving ahead. My personal favorite again, browse acts and rules. Browse acts and rules gives you the information regarding the Constitution of India, regarding central acts, central notification, state act, and state notification. As you can see it on your screen as well. Now, you can certainly click on the Constitution of India to read the whole or whichever article you wanted to read. Or you can go with the central act to read any act which you want. So for example, let us take IPC section 141. Because in the corona pandemic, I've seen so many news with respect to IPC 141 in UP, IPC 141 in Chandigarh or whichever state it is. So let us see what actually IPC 141 states about. So I click on that. I scroll down to IPC section 141 and there you go. So IPC section 141 states Unlawful assembly. An unlawful assembly simply means an assembly of 5 or more person is designated an unlawful assembly if the common object of the persons composing that assembly is first, second, fourth, fifth explanation, whichever you wanted to read. Okay. This is the original information coming from the Act. When you scroll down, you get to see blue colored information as well. This blue colored information has been embedded by the editorial team of Eastern Book Company, in which they are trying to give you the information of what are the important judgments on section 141 of IPC. So there is one judgment on section 141 of IPC which talks about what are the ingredients of unlawful assembly. The important ingredients of an unlawful assembly are the number of persons forming it and their common object. If you think that this judgment is helping you, then this judgment is coming from Manjeet Singh versus State of Punjab. Click on this hyperlink, that whole judgment will be opened. So this is very easy, right? So you're not only going to read the act, but also you're going to get the important documents, important judgments on that particular section. So that was browse acts and rules. You also have browse articles through which you can browse through different university journals. What we have over here, as you can see, law review journals. Just a second. Yeah, law review journals, in which we have a legal law journal, Chanakya National Law University. We also have GNLU, HNLU, and Practical Lawyer. Whichever journal you wanted to read, you can certainly click on that and you can read that particular article. So this is very easy to use. Another thing which we should discuss over here before opening the question and answers round, that is moot court resources. Now, moot court resources gives you the winner team memo from the appellant side, from the respondent side, and also the moot court proposition from different moot court competitions that have been happened before. So for example, if I click on MIT Lucknow National Moot Competition, first of all, I can get to know about the problem, the proposition over here. We can get to know the memo from the appellant side and the memo from the respondent side. So this is how easy it is, right? You can make your own strategy before going into the moot court competition by browsing through this particular information. Apart from that, we also have some treaties in which we have the multilateral treaties with India and the bilateral treaties with India. In the browse secondary materials, we have the bills in parliaments, we have the constitutional documents, historical trials, policy documents, reports of commission and committees, out of which my personal favorite is constitutional documents, in which we have the Constituent Assembly debates. You can read the whole debate of how the constitution was formed and what were the debates that were placed while in the making of the constitution. That's very relevant for the we can say for the first year students. So all in all, we have more to share, but we do not have that much time left. So I believe, Chetan sir, should we start off with the question answers round if you are there?
I think compilation, we can just cover the compilation part and then open the question answer round.
Sure.
In the meantime, I think what we can do is we'll be showing the last feature. Mohit will be showing the last feature. And you can put in your questions in the chat box. I'll try to answer it while sitting over here. And if in case, Mohit is done with the session by then we can take that questions for everyone. So Mohit.
Sure. Okay, the last feature which we are going to talk about is how you can make the compendium or the case compilation with the help of the software. So I believe the senior students and the faculty members can relate to this particular feature, because most of the time whenever you're making the compendium or the case compilation feature by your manual hard work, then it can take a lot of time depending upon how many documents you wanted to add in the compendium, right? So the first step is, first of all, find the documents which you want in your compendium. So I'm just doing a random search. Let's say, for example, I'm just trying to get some judgments on the topic of murder, right? So all the documents in the database pertaining to the word murder will be coming in. The first step is, please select how many documents do you want in your compendium. So let us take this judgment. Now, this judgment, in order to upload this judgment, first of all, you click on this icon. That is called Add to my SCC Online folder icon. What it does, it will make a folder in SCC Online server, which is not accessible by us, but only you. Click on it. You create your own folder, change the folder. You give it in a name, new folder. I'm just typing in the name now, GIMS, enter, select the folder, click on OK. So what I've done till now is I have successfully uploaded this particular judgment in my GIMS folder. Similarly, the second document, folder icon, GIMS already selected. OK. This digest note is helpful for me. OK. Same method. Again, another digest note. Same method. OK. I have successfully uploaded 4 documents in the GIMS folder. That is the first step. Select all the documents. Select and upload. The second step is go and retrieve the folder which you have created. So I go to this icon, my folders icon, view folders, and whichever folder I have created will be right in front of me. So this is the folder which I have created, in which I can see there are 4 documents. Now I can select whichever document I want in my compendium. I want this digest note, this judgment, and this judgment as well, right? 3 documents have been selected. Go to the middle icon and click on this last diary-like icon, that is create case compilation. Click on it. Define the sequence of the judgment or the documents. Move up or move down, whichever works for you. Click on the create icon. And now your compendium is ready. So within some 10 to 15 seconds, your compendium is ready to be made. You can download it and you can certainly print it and submit it. In the compendium, first of all, you're going to see the table of contents. This table of content is purely editable. Whichever word or whichever information you wanted to write, you can certainly write it over here. You can save it, or you can increase the font size. You can insert a table. Whichever personalization you wanted to do, you can certainly do it. The second document contains all the documents with the predefined pagination from our side. As you can see, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and it continues to go on, and all the documents are in the sequential format. You can download both the documents. Click on the download icon. Click on the download icon again. And both the documents now have been downloaded onto your machine. As you can see, first of all is the index, and second one is the whole compendium. So this is how within I guess 1 or 2 minutes, you can certainly make your own compendium and can submit up in any competition or course, whichever you want. So that is how you make your case compilation or the compendium. And now I guess we are off to the question answers round. Please let us know with your questions with the help of this question answers. So I'm also checking whether we have any questions. And in the meanwhile, I will also take the attendance of all the participants who are in this meeting right now. Okay, Chetan sir, I believe only you can take the attendance. Yes, could you please explain the compilation again? Sure, I can do that for you. Okay, just a second.
Before you explain the compilation, I think we also need to let them know what exactly compilation means, because there was one question that what is a citation. So I think we need to go really basic on that as well. First, answering the question of what is citation. Citation, Mohit, can you show your screen once?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll just take the attendance. So what if you can see on the screen right now, Mohit has written 1993 4 SCC 441. And Mohit, if you can now click on the drop down arrow.
This one?
Yes. Over here, you'll see a lot of other journals, SCC, AIR, Please scroll down further. Indian tax reporters, excise law times. So all these are journals, law reporters, right? So what happens is, in order to find a judgment, you need to have a physical address of a judgment or an article. Now that means that, when you go to a library, you cannot just look for a judgment with the help of party name. You need to go into the book which has that particular judgment. So now the books can be like 10,000 of books in the library. How will you, differentiate which one is the one that you're looking for? So that's the reason why all these books are, have year numbers which are unique, volume numbers, the journal name, and the page number. It's similar to your newspaper. So if you're reading a newspaper, today's newspaper, and there's some news in it which you want to share with your friends, you would be required to tell them that, that let's suppose you don't have WhatsApp and all, that you can't send a picture. You will have to tell the person that which newspaper is it, wherein you are seeing this news article. And is it today's newspaper, or is yesterday's, or is day for yesterday's newspaper? That is a date. Journal ho gaya, that is newspaper. Date ho gayi aaj kal ya parson ki purani. And then you have to tell them that is it a main paper or is it a supplementary paper? And then you come to the on which page is it? Is it on the first page, second page, third page? And then you come to the which side of the page, like left side of left column, right column, second article, third article, what it is. That's how you tell it. So basically, you guiding the person that, okay, no, in order to read this particular article, you have to have this newspaper, today's newspaper, not previous one, other day newspaper. You has to be today, the page number, and then the person reads it. That's the same thing happening over here. When you see over here, it says 1990. I'm looking at the Kerala Law Journal. It says 1990. 1990 is the year. Okay, 1 is the volume number. So the first volume of 1990, KLJ journal. KLJ is the journal name, the law reporter name, and 537 is the page on which the judgment has been printed. Now, similarly, what Mohit is talking about, the case compilation. Case compilation, you all need to understand, it's a feature which helps you. I think because most of you are in the first year, so Mohit has given the other side of it in the original, and when he was talking about case compilation, the nitty-gritties of case compilation. I'm going to take it to a basic level now. The basic level is that, let's suppose you have made your folders, 10, 20 folders, and you want to print those folders, and you want to make a submission out of that folders for whatever reasons. It can be for your class, it can be for your class, it can be for your project, it can be for a moot court competition. Moot court, Mohit has explained beautifully, so I'm not going to go back into that. I'm going to go from the submission point of view. So if you want to submit a particular document that you have used in your submissions, or you want to, if you were doing a research on a particular topic, like Mohit has searched for murder, so you have this research thing is there that I want to see, you want to submit all the important judgments from past 10 years. And all the important, let's say bills and notifications on murder from central government. You want to make a document out of it all because you're doing a research on that topic. Then you can, let's say, this is important judgment. So Mohit can save this particular document by going to this menu. That's the folder icon. Yep, that's the one. And then there's a James folder already there. We can change the folder. Changing folder, I'm sure everyone knows. So we're just gonna say, so you can change your folders like this, or you can create your new folder. I'm sure this is a basic thing, so we all know it. Click on OK. And this particular folder has been saved. So it says note already exists. So we'll probably take some other note in this. And Mohit save this. Now, how do we see it? Now, I'm assuming that we have created already 4 or 5 in the previous example. So we're going to go on this next icon, which is a bunch of people sitting together, and clicking on My Folder, and then clicking on View Folder. Once you do that, it's going to show us all the folders. So right now we only have one folder. All the the documents that we have added till now are available over here. So we're assuming that we want all of it. So we'll select all. And we're going to go to this icon, which is more of a printer over the folder icon, and then click on the last sub category, that is create case compilation. Once you do this, you want to change the name of the compilation, you can do that. So you can click on create. You can reshuffle the arrangement and create, and that's it. Your folder has been created. So all the document that you had chosen to be a part of your, this document, this compilation, this compendium are already been indexed. That is the index that is available in front of you, and which is purely editable, like Mohit had already mentioned. And then you go to the next entry, that is pages. In pages, all the documents that you had asked for are already available over here, and these are numbered as well. So the numbers that they were written in the table of content in under the heading of index. This number will be corresponding to the same index that has been we saw a few minutes back. So that's a great that's a compilation feature. Mohit.
Sure. So students, if you have any questions regarding any of the feature which we have shown before, certainly you can use the chat box window. You can also use this view user manual when you're in the software. And let me also leave our email addresses and toll-free number so that you can reach out to us on that particular email ID as well. Just a sec. Please let us know regarding your queries if you have. So there you go. Now you have our email addresses and the toll-free number. This session is already recorded. So in case you want the recording, you can certainly get in touch with the library department. They can help you with the recording of this particular session. Any questions, students?
Mohit,
yes, ma'am.
One question. It's not one question, just a query. Is it necessary to access SSC online? We have to go first for MyLog.
For the students, yes, ma'am, because they are, I believe they are working from home, and that is why they are using the remote access software.
And for the faculty member?
Ma'am, ma'am, I think I'll just explain this in a simpler way. If any one of the either the students or the faculty members are in the university, then they don't have to go through MyLoft. Because we have already mapped your IP address of your university, so this will be working seamlessly on any other computer or any of the Wi-Fi connection that the university is providing on campus. But because we are not in the campus currently, and we are accessing the database from outside, so for this, the authentication has to be done for once and for all. So that MyLoft becomes the authentication gateway, and then it makes it acts like that. It just gives you access, the same access
I
that
got
you
it. I got it. Okay. And the second thing is, since here very few students are here, all the students are not here. So definitely in the next week we will go for the another session during days. Might be 12 o'clock, might be 1:30. So all the students will be connected over there. Okay.
No worries, ma'am. You can keep us updated. I think Shilpi ma'am has been in constant touch with us.
She will inform when we will go for the another session.
Sure,
Okay.
ma'am. Sure,
so,
and
it's a good
we will share
session,
this.
and
We will share this recording as well right now. I have Shilpi ma'am's email address. I will gonna share the
definitely
link.
Because the reporting is very necessary. The record is very necessary. So if someone has skipped any step, so they can learn from there. So you just share the link. We'll share with the students as well, and definitely we'll go for the another session. We will inform you. Okay.
Sure, ma'am. No worries. Mohit.
Yes, sir. So Shilpi ma'am, I believe there are no queries coming up now. So with your permission, can we conclude the session now?
Yes, sir. And please share the recording link in my email ID.
Yeah, absolutely, ma'am. We'll certainly.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much, Shilpi ma'am, Dr. Pallavi ma'am, Chetan sir, for this interesting session. And obviously, thank you, students, for your nicely participation in this particular meeting. I hope you'll use this particular software with all the login process which have been shown today. And again, in case you have any queries, please reach out to us with the email addresses. Thank you so much for your time now. Chetan sir, I request you to please end this meeting.
Thank you, Mohit. Thank you, everyone.